Welcome back. And moving on to our first segment for today. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi heads today to Saudi Arabia to participate in the 32nd Arab Summit taking place in Jeddah. Of course, we have seen many of the meetings that were held, the preparatory meetings on ministerial level, discussing many important files that are going to be discussed in the summit, including economic and social files. Over the phone, we have Dr. Youmn Hamaki, Professor of Economics in Ain Shams University. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Doctor. So first of all, I would like to shed the light on the importance of this summit bringing now, especially that we all know and aware of all the challenges that we are confronting, talking about the Arab countries in general. So how do you see the importance of this summit taking place right now?
Actually, very important. Like you mentioned, Nashwa, Arab countries nowadays are in the middle of severe challenges confronting the world, political, arming, social, economic. We can see quite well, polarization towards some power in the world, as well as, the world economic system is witnessing severe changement and structural changement actually for the coming period. And within this atmosphere, I believe that the Arab countries should, address quite well the importance of being together, the importance of being unified. Not only unification by just declaring, commitments and declaring, speeches, but we have to move forward into actions. We have to move forward into more coordination regarding the political side. We have severe challenges. The case of Sudan, the case of other Arab countries that are disrupted and having severe conflicts. We have, as we have the problem of Renaissance, problem with Ethiopia, as Egypt. We have severe challenges confronting the Arab economies, and unless we can be together, we cannot actually address such challenges. Nowadays, the case of Palestine and to how extent Israel is violating all types of international law and being very aggressive with Palestinians, I believe that all these challenges need to large extent unification from Arab countries.
I think also having Syria back after 12 years of suspension also will mean a lot. And we have more about another file regarding the developments in Syria.
Yes, of course. Arab countries, they believe in the importance of returning Syria into Arab League, and to how extent nowadays we have to coordinate, because you know quite well that the translation of what's happening in Arab countries, we have different countries, big power are trying to interfere to benefit from the wealth and resources in the Arab countries. And you know quite well that according to our studies that Arab countries are having huge resources. Unfortunately, we are not capable to exploit it efficiently enough to benefit our people. And from here it comes that we have to refer to how we can organize ourselves, how we can, first of all, as economists, the first challenge is how to use our resources in a collective manner, which means on top of challenges, technology. Till now, we don't have a technology as Arab countries. We don't exploit our universities, scientific research to have our own technology as Arab countries. So First of all, what we need to do when we are entering into artificial intelligence and the fourth industrial revolution, we need to develop our capabilities as Arab countries regarding the invention of technology and having our own technology. And we can do it because, we have all our scientists and the researchers are contributing to, the advancement of developed countries. So why we can't ask them and coordinate our efforts so that we can develop our technological capabilities? This is on top of, the requirement and, the priority we have to concentrate on. Another thing is about, food security and how we can, build our capabilities towards achieving food security, taking into consideration that we have a significant percentage of poverty in the Arab economy, as well as the high rate of unemployment, specifically for youth. We have a problem of unemployment of youth. We are not exploiting, our women capabilities in the Arab countries. If you add all these capabilities of women of the Arab economies, the participation of Arab women in economic activity is still minimal compared to other countries. So all these can be considered as resources that are not exploited. And what we need to do, I know that on top of priority for this summit, food security is included. Political conflict existing as it actually forced itself as a challenge. We need to enhance investment. This is the core part. Intra-investment can be regarded as essential when we talk about, enhancing economic relations. Nashwa, that the intra-trade among Arab economies still quite minimal, don't exceed 11-12%. Despite that, we have been in a free trade area from 1997. And we need to ask ourselves, we need to pose a question regarding why, despite that we have been for a long time in a free trade area, that the trade among Arab countries is still minimal compared to, like for the EU countries, exceeding 65%. So these are questions that should be addressed in the summit. I don't think actually all the time, unfortunately, the economic side is not taking priority, despite that at the end, the economic side is concentrating the situation, because without economic power, you are going to be relating completely for the developed countries and the big power in the world to be affected by their decisions instead of being able to affect decisions. Despite that, we have to mention a very important fact that Saudi Arabia with the Gulf countries, they started to, nowadays we witness that, they started to pave the way towards having their own identity regarding using oil and affecting prices of oil. I believe that this can be considered as a very important point besides the deal with Iran. All this can be considered as moving towards more sovereignty of the Arab economies, but still without economic power, you cannot be on the right direction, taking into consideration that the world nowadays is moving towards renewable energy, not relying on oil specifically. We can see that the political side is affecting seriously prices of oil, as you mentioned. So a lot of challenges that are needed to be confronted properly.
I think we also agreed upon the fact that economic level and the political level both are two parallel lines. They are moving together and no developments can take place on one side without the other side. So if I'm talking about mechanisms to be adopted by all of the Arab countries to accelerate all what we need to reach this free zone or trade agreement among countries, how do you see? What kind of mechanism?
The first mechanism actually is to refer to the studies about contemplating comparative advantage. I can see a very promising project nowadays taking part between Egypt and United Arab Emirates and Qatar regarding, the industrial sector, how to contemplate or to be integrated in a value chain. We have projects that are funded by, several nowadays sovereign funds in the two countries or the three countries. This is aiming actually as, having intra-investment among these countries. Like, for example, we have a program to take petrochemicals from United Arab Emirates and manufacture it as a raw material in Egypt by manufacturing chemical industries. We all know that chemical industries, we are importing as Arab countries a huge amount of chemicals since they are entering in most of the industries. So if we can develop, this is an example, if we can develop the production of chemicals as well as the pharmaceutical supplement, as well as, electronics. Nowadays, in information technology, some Arab countries, specifically Gulf countries, they are doing quite well, and Egypt nowadays is moving towards complete digitalization. We exerted quite a good effort towards achieving that. So I believe that by moving towards benefiting from what we have, but building to enhance the value added and enlarge opportunities of job for our youth and women, I believe that this may be reflected quite positively on our position economically, and from economically we can move into a better situation politically.
Well, talking also about, I know you mentioned this in the beginning, talking about food in general. If I'm now asking about food and agriculture and water scarcity and these challenges we are facing, especially that we all know we passed through many challenges, moving on from the pandemic to the Russian-Ukrainian war, many important issues took place. So talking about this in particular, and how can we support this important chain?
Yes, food security can be regarded as a priority, taking into consideration that, water scarcity is not a problem confronting only Arab economies, but it's a world phenomenon with climate change. So I believe that we need to, like I mentioned, to have our technologies regarding how to water desalination. We have to develop water desalination projects, and Egypt is doing quite well regarding that, and other Arab Gulf countries. We need to preserve water, and we have a lot of projects towards that. So by actually exchanging researches, by exchanging our experiences regarding how we can preserve water and how we can consume water, I believe this is quite important. By having an agricultural map. The agricultural map should cover the Arab economies for the benefit of Arab people, which means that we should know all the arable, the land that can be cultivated and the best crops to be cultivated according to our sciences. And we have all these data actually. We have a lot of researchers regarding how to have an agricultural map on the level of Arab economies, and what we need to do is how we can invest, for the benefit of all Arab, who is going to finance the results, how to be calculated. I believe this is the effort that we have to exert in order to enhance our intra-investment for the benefit of Arab regarding food security specifically.
Right, Dr. Youmn Hamaki, Professor of Economics at Shams University, thank you very much for joining us. And moving on to a quick break, then we will be back with more on The Breakfast Show.